Hello everybody, welcome on into a brand new episode of Taste Test. Now, one hat Grinchier. My name is Sean, and every Saturday, right here on youtube.com/Seannosaurus Rex, you can watch me test the weird, the wonderful, and the limited edition. If it sounds like fun, scroll down, subscribe, ring the bell, you'll be notified when I post new videos. Thank you so much for helping me hit 2,000 subscribers. It means so very much to me. Keep on pushing. Let's get to 3,000, then 5,000, and then to millionaire. That's kind of, I think, how it usually goes. It's like that step. We're on step 3 of the 5-step plan. Step 4, 3,000, then millionaire, right? Bam. Just like that. Subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff. If you want to see a specific item on the show, let me know what it is down in the comments below. What it is, where to find it. You might see it on a future episode of Taste Test. Today, we have a fun one. The holiday candies or snacks or whatever has been actually fairly lacking, in my opinion. It's a lot of the same stuff that we've already had, or you have Hershey's, even though I just had them on the show last week. I say that like they were guests hanging out in my stream room. Anyway, you have like Hershey's, who's like, oh, we're rewrapping Kisses as Grinch, and it's like, okay, well, there's nothing different. It's just the same thing, but with a different wrapper. So it hasn't been the most exciting time as far as my show is concerned, where I try things on the internet for people to watch. However, the people at Elf, which I believe is under WB, doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. They are doing the Lord's work by giving me a bunch of stuff to test. We're only trying one item. But they have been actually putting out a lot of stuff. There's been a really big push for Elf. It's the 20th anniversary. Just as a reminder to you who are my age, who had that movie come out when they were like 13. You're 33 now, maybe 34. You probably got like some kids or whatever. I don't know what you're doing. I don't, but you know. Anyway, they're doing a bunch of stuff. There's a goldfish like maple graham cracker that I still can't find, that I'm like been looking for, but they've been doing a lot of promotion for Elf and the 20th anniversary, so congratulations to them on the thing for existing for 20 years. But one of the things that they did do is a collaboration with Brach's. Now, Brach's has been on the channel before, and I eat a lot of Brach's because I like their candy corn. Apparently, it's been called Brach's this entire time and not Branches, the way that I have said it for probably the same 20 years since Elf came out, and probably even before that. I would just like to hold up this bag here and point out the fact there is no N in this word. BRACH''S. Brach's. I've been reading this as Branches for 30 years. 27 years, I don't know. But they have these candy cane forest Mellowcreme candies, I guess. They're not candy corn, but it's kind of a weird sort of thing. Now, what I will say is Brach's has been doing a good job at expanding the flavors. Like, I feel like most people are only buying them during the Halloween season. They're like, okay, we have 3 weeks to sell $75 million in candy corn, or the company's going under. They have been more extravagant and more exciting in the candy corn space with different flavor festivals. The problem is I can never find them. They're usually like Walgreens exclusive, which kind of puts them out of my like regular routine of like, when am I going to a Walgreens? The only time I go to a Walgreens is when I'm walking around in Seattle and I'm like, oh man, I really could use a Mountain Dew. Hey, there's a Walgreens here. And then they're like, do you have a phone number? And I'm like, I don't know. I go to Walgreens once every 5 years. What are we doing? Anyway. So it's hard to find those. Thankfully, I found this at Walmart. I think. Where did I find this? I don't know. I put so much crap in carts. This was at Walmart. I'm pretty sure about that. So be sure to check that out if it's, of interest to you. There are 4 flavors here in the Brach's. Brach's Peppermint Candy Cane. No, wait, hold on. What? Stop it. Hold on. I got distracted in my head because I was like, tell a story, but then I was trying to read at the same time, and I got all turned around. Somebody had to point out to me that it's called Brach's. Because they were like, oh, I saw you had some Brach's on your channel the other day. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I had some Branches things, and they're like, no, it's called Brach's. And I looked at the package, and I'm like, oh, Yeah, I'm just okay. Cool, great. Been wrong for years. There are 4 flavors here in the Candy Cane Forest Mellowcreme candy. It is 1, peppermint candy cane; 2, toasted marshmallow; 3, maple syrup; and 4, frosted sugar cookie. As I was looking at the bag, admiring it, idealizing how good these will be, I noticed that each flavor has like a specific shape to it, and it actually corresponds here in the bag. So that'll be fun. The one I'm most excited about is a maple. I don't really love the other flavors, but I am curious to see how they taste. So let's crack these open. Hold on, flex your muscle. Oh yeah, I can't open candy. Local 33-year-old man flexes muscles while he can't open candy. We try the other side. Whoops. I didn't think this one through. I don't have anything sharp in here. Hold on. Don't do this at home. Hold on. This is bad. That's bad. That's bad. Don't do it. Okay. As a potential... Oh, there we go. We have the maple. As a potential role model... No. Ooh, candy. Sorry. I apologize for that. That looked awful on the audio. Sorry about that. Candy cane. Slipped out of my buttery fingers. We have toasted marshmallow. Oh boy, that one really doesn't show when you hold it up against the white wall. You dunce. Absolute dunce. And last but not least, the tentacle. Oh, I almost dropped it again. Which is the blue. Frosted sugar cookie. It's a narwhal. It's definitely a narwhal, not a tentacle. I am falling apart here. My goodness. Okay, so here's note number 1 that I'm seeing already. The flavor that I'm looking forward to the most is the smallest, and by a large margin. I'll see if I can show them off here in my hand. But you can see, I'll put the candy cane. It's great color, Green Bay Pack. Go, Pack, go. Number 1. Bend your hand more. I dropped it again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyway, there's like a size comparison. These are so much thinner. Not the height difference isn't quite that wild, but they're just so thin. So thin. I don't think I've ever dropped this many candies before. All right. Let's go with the peppermint candy cane first. We'll try that. It smells like the maple. I feel like the maple is going to overpower a lot of this, but it doesn't. Yeah, it smells, yeah. Whoa. 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 That is wild how minty that is. That is absolutely wild. Mind blown. Best comparison that I'm going to be able to give you is a York peppermint patty. That's not it. Oh God, what are they? Okay, stick with me. I told the story, I think, recently on a taste test that had something to do with mint. They're not York peppermint patties. They're probably a fair comparison, but when I bite into this, and maybe it's just a homegrown memory, and that I associate with specific things. Grandma's house. Cat. Lift the lid on the cat. You lift it, it meows. If you tried really carefully, you could lift it and move it without it making noise. We had 2 of those. One was 2. Now, that's what it reminds me of. That is, it's like a subtle mint flavor. It's not overpowering. It's not like a mint gum sort of thing. It's just a pleasant peppermint happening in your mouth. Realizing that I should have probably saved this one for last, and I don't have any Mountain Dew on my table. I do have some water that I don't remember when I poured. But that is really nice. That's a really nice candy. We're starting off on a positive note. Positive note. Now, I will say, while the maple was definitely my most anticipated or most excited flavor, peppermint wasn't necessarily the least excited. The least excited I am is this next one that we're going to try, which is toasted marshmallow. We've had some issues with toasted marshmallow. Stop dropping things on the flippin' desk. My lord, sir, you over there in the monitor, stop it. Stop dropping things. Stop it. I wasn't necessarily excited about the peppermint because I thought it would be too much or too candy cane-y, which I'm not a big fan of. But it's a really nice, like, I like the texture of the Brach's Mellowcreme. Mellowcreme. I don't know why I keep wanting to say mallow. Mellowcreme, I like the texture. It's really nice. It melds well with the peppermint. And the peppermint isn't overpowering. So that's a win. That's a surprise win, if I've ever heard of one. Now, the maple is just annihilating everything in this bag because the peppermint didn't smell at all like peppermint, and I smelled maple. This toasted marshmallow, for those of you, still smells like maple. Now, we're going to bite the head off of this snowman. Well, I guess we'll eat the whole thing. Man creates show where he has to eat food. It might be the fact that I ate the mint first. And I'm going to give this one a compliment. This tastes good. Not much of a compliment, but a compliment still. It has a nice, like, understated marshmallow flavor. It took a little bit to get there, and again, I kind of more blame the mint aspect than the actual piece of candy. Maybe when we come, well, I probably won't do that. But there is a really nice flavor to this. I'm not the biggest marshmallow guy. I enjoy them occasionally. I rarely roast them, if ever. Lightly toasted, maybe. But the flavor of marshmallow isn't something that I get like super excited for. And the idea of a toasted marshmallow in the form of like an artificial flavor in candy, mind-numbing. That sounds awful. We had the s'mores, the toasted s'mores from M&M's back in October, I want to say. Those were awful. Those were horrendous. These are much better because it focuses on the best part of it, which is actually the marshmallow, and then has like a little bit of a taste of that, like, oh, it's like been lightly tinged, you know, just a little bit. Otherwise, super solid. Took a little bit to get there, but once we got there, I did enjoy it. So we're 2 for 2 here. I am very surprised by this. Now, I have been going left to right on the bag. I'm going to save my favorite, or the most anticipated, for last. I would say that I like, just in case you're curious, I would say that I like the peppermint just a little bit more because I just like the flavor. I picked the flavor of peppermint over the flavor of toasted marshmallow, though this is an excellent toasted marshmallow. Let's try frosted sugar cookies. Now, the peppermint put me back to my childhood in my grandma's house eating mints. Can a frosted sugar cookie put me back at my mom's house inhaling her cookies? But the cat did it, okay? Cat ate all the cookies, wasn't me. They're so big. I think the sizes are starting to work against it because the flavor doesn't quite come through in the last two the way that like mint is, or peppermint, mint, whatever, is such a strong flavor that it's going to cut through regardless of the size of it. I think that's just going to work. The marshmallow and the sugar cookie take a little bit to get there, and it makes me kind of like, I was talking about, that's probably the peppermint's fault. And partially, maybe. But I think eating this is kind of like, no, it's just almost too thick. Like the flavoring is in the center of it, and then there's all of the cream around it, and it just takes so long to chew through it that it finally gets there. Now, it's pretty good. I still think I like the peppermint the most, which is surprising. But I would pick this over the toasted marshmallow. But they're all solid efforts so far, and I'm very surprised by that. This one's a little bit weaker on the flavor. It kind of like initially it kind of tastes like it's just okay. We're just like it's just sugar. Like I'm just eating sugar with sugar. There's a little bit of that cookie flavor in there as the bite kind of as you work through that bite, but it's subtle. There's enough there for you to go like, okay, this is sugar cookie enough for me to like. But yeah, again, I think it's just it kind of goes down to which flavor do I like. I realized I didn't smell it, but I don't think it really matters because the maple is just destroying everything. So let's try the final one. Go Pat Go. It is the maple, which smells weirdly the least like maple. This might be the worst of the four. So, okay. Let me walk you through the process here. Thought process. As I was talking about the last two pieces, in my head, I was thinking, would these have been better if they had made them all triangles and abandoned the shapes? They'd be less fun to look at or whatever. Sure. But would they be better with a smaller dose? I think for the marshmallow and the frosted sugar cookie, I think you can make that argument. But then you eat this maple syrup one and it barely tastes like maple at all, and I don't think it matters. It felt like when I was eating it, it felt like it was the same time difference between when I hit the first bite and then when I got the flavor as the other two. The size didn't matter. The flavor was still buried way too much. And maple, for whatever reason, just hasn't been participating nearly as well as I would anticipate it. I had the maple, what was it, incline cider or something like that, and that one didn't really have it. The maple checks were good, but I can definitely still taste it, like it's there. But as a person who's eaten several maple bars lately, this one's a real disappointment. I think it might actually be the weakest flavor here. My goodness, what a twist. I mean, it's there. Maybe I'm amping up maple a little bit too much in my head. I like maple. I think of it as like a syrup. Maybe that's part of the problem. Is it's more of a sauce for waffles or pancakes, or it's a like pretty thickly layered on frosting on a donut that doesn't have much flavor, so the maple kind of gets to take over and maybe just feels more powerful than it actually is. It has a strong scent, that I love, but a pretty weak flavor in this. So I would go peppermint candy cane, frosted sugar, toasty marshmallow. Well, okay, I know what number 1 is. I know what number 4 is. This is not inappropriate, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, all right? That's all I'm doing, all right? It's a ring finger, YouTube. We know that number 1 is the peppermint, and we know that number 4 is the maple. I think you can flip 2 or 3. Part of me, my gut tells me to go with the marshmallow because it was more surprising. There you go. Peppermint, marshmallow, frosted, maple syrup. There's your definitive ranking. There you go. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to scroll down, subscribe, ring the bell. You'll be notified when I post new videos. And then, like I was saying before I rudely interrupted myself, let me know what you think. Did you try these? Do you want to try these? If you did, what's your ranking? You can tell me down there. You can also let me know if there's something you'd like to see on the channel by telling me what it is, A. And then B, you can let me know where to find it. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as we work through our holiday festivities, I guess, string of holiday episodes. I appreciate it. Thank you again so much for helping me hit 2,000 subscribers, an absolutely mind-boggling number. If you'd like more of this, I'll be back next Saturday with another exciting installment of Taste Test. Thank you again so much for watching, and bon appetit.